Boruto is on a madness, ladies and gentlemen. They're getting a little bit too trigger happy when it comes to the deaths, I'm afraid. Like, calm down a minute, because next thing I know, someone I really like is definitely gonna die. And in fact, we're going to talk about that exact character in this video. But first, we've got to discuss the anime. Now, I'm not actually caught up to the anime 100% right now. I know I'm gonna watch the arc. I said I would watch this arc, and I am gonna get round to it. And I had planned on getting round to it before making a video on Boruto again. However, some pretty big shit's just gone down in the anime because they've killed a character. The anime is getting a little bit too comfortable with killing characters now for my liking, alright? There's only so many tears a man can shred. Obviously, they killed Inoki. Obviously, from the manga, there was Mugino and Ao, but they made Mugino an infinitely 10 times better character. The Kurama death was saved in the anime, went from a minus 410 in the manga to an absolute perfected masterpiece in the anime. And now they've just killed Kagura. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about the anime just in a moment, but first, there's another character in Boruto that I want to talk about because there's been quite a few death flags recently for him, especially with the latest chapter. For those of you that have read chapter 69, you know exactly who I'm talking about. It is goddamn Batman Sensei Sasuke Uchiha, baby! I shouldn't be so excited about his potential death. And I just had to talk about it. Obviously, we talked about it on the ABD channel, but I felt like I just had to talk about it here as well, because it's some pretty big shit. Now, the major death flag from this chapter was, of course, his conversation with Boruto. In it, he gave Boruto his headband again for the 3rd time, but this time permanently. That straight away is a big red flag. This is what is regarded as the will and inheritance trope. It is a very good trope in which a character begins to distance themselves from their own personal belongings and memories and passes them down to, in this case, a student, because the original wielder of said memorabilia is prepared now to sacrifice themselves or know that death is on the horizon. Now, this is a trope that we all kind of suspected would be with Sasuke's character, considering the flash forward scene where obviously he's got the bandana, the headband, which we see him get permanently in this chapter, meaning that all that is left is the sword and potentially the cloak. But on top of Sasuke already distancing himself from his own personal belongings, he also had a really interesting piece of dialogue when they were talking about Kawaki and his resolve of being able to kill Boruto when he transformed into Momoshiki, something that Sasuke swore to do but wasn't able to do so because he wasn't there. During that conversation, Sasuke said that next time he will have to be the one to show his resolve. Now, the entire chapter of 69 was all about characters' resolve. And in fact, out of the 4 main characters in the manga, and I say 4, and they are Boruto, Kawaki, Naruto, and Sasuke. I know people are going to jump me saying, well, Saruduru Mitsuki. Be real. They don't have a role in the manga. They are side characters, unfortunately. However, out of those 4 main manga characters, 3 have been prepared to die for their village. Obviously, number 1, the standout one, was Naruto with his Bion mode. Now, subsequently, that sacrificed Kurama and not Naruto, but as far as Naruto was aware at the time of actually doing it, he was the one prepared to die and show his resolve. Then, of course, after that, towards the end of that arc, Kawaki was prepared to show his resolve to sacrifice himself by setting himself on fire in order for Momoshiki to absorb the fire and bring back Boruto. Now, obviously, that was slightly a different scenario because Kawaki had planned for Momoshiki to absorb the fire, but the point still stands. He went as far to set himself physically on fire, meaning he was prepared to die to save his brother. And then, of course, most recently, Boruto literally died to save the village by having Kawaki kill him once Momoshiki took over. Now, of course, using all of Momoshiki's absolute tomfoolery karma magic, Boruto came back. But again, the point still stands that Kawaki and Boruto had shown the resolves to commit to their beliefs and ideology to save the village. Sasuke has not had the chance to do that yet. And that's what he meant by show his resolve. Basically, what he's saying is, bruh, I gotta die. And as sad as it is to actually discuss the death of Sasuke, I think we all kind of knew it was gonna happen, really. Like, come on, he was the most obvious candidate to kill off. Not only does killing him off put more of a spotlight on the new generation, but he's also a sensei character, and let's be real, how many senseis in anime and manga tend to get killed off to further progress the plot of the main character? Exactly. A lot. On top of that, I think we all also presumed that one of either Naruto and Sasuke would die, and they've already faked out Naruto's death. I don't think they would go down that avenue again, purely for the fact that it's already kind of been explored once. We've been through the turmoil of, oh my god, is Naruto gonna die? It's now Sasuke's turn. But this time, I don't see how he would survive. But maybe that's just me, I don't know. The other thing is, can they actually kill Sasuke off in a good way? Please, I'm begging. If there's one character I need to have an actual good death, it's him. I need an entire chapter near enough dedicated to Sasuke dying. None of that, oh, well, he did kill my ma and pa shit with Kurama. That was ass. For once, I want something super meaningful to happen in the manga where I don't have to read it and go, yeah, I could imagine how the anime might make that good. Like we have done with like so many different things in the manga. But talking about characters dying in the anime and making them good, Kagura. You see what I did there? Yeah. Like I said, I've not actually caught up to this arc. When I saw that Kagura died, I was genuinely quite shocked. But in a good way. I saw all the tweets saying that Kagura had died, and I was like, hey, yo, the anime's moving mad. And it got me really, really excited. I saw so much praise. And considering the arc started out so poorly, especially according to a lot of people. Like I said, I'm like 3 episodes in. It's okay at the very best right now. But considering how much backlash this arc got at the beginning, and now I'm seeing a decent amount of praise for it, got me a little bit excited. Now, whether or not that's because all the people that were giving it backlash just can't be asked watching it now, and therefore can't critique it, I don't know. There's definitely an element of that in it, for sure. But when Kagura died, I genuinely thought, okay, maybe all this build-up, because I believe it's the longest arc in Boruto, at least the longest anime-only arc, I genuinely thought, this might be worth my time. However, then the latest episode dropped, and I'll be honest, I've seen so many negative things from people who I follow who genuinely enjoy Boruto and whose opinions I can genuinely understand when it comes to the anime. Like, these aren't typical Boruto haters. These are people who religiously watch this shit every single week and love it. And even they were saying that the latest episode and Kagura's death was really bad. Which is a shame, because I know so many of us love it when a character dies, because a lot of the time a character death is a really, really good way to further the plot, especially for a specific character. However, at the same time, if you kill a character and you don't execute it well, it could only really be described as a waste. Just think Neji for a prime example. And from what I'm gathering, Kagura fits into that boat, unfortunately. Now, whether that's because the actual emotional weight behind it, just the writing wasn't there, I don't know. However, from what I have seen online, the animation, yeah, it was top notch. Obviously, I'm taking the piss. The animation doesn't look that great, at least in the most recent episode. I mean, Boruto had a fight using his Karma Seal. This is the first time he's used the Karma Seal in the anime since the Ishiki arc, and this was the fight. I've not even edited that. They genuinely had an entire taijutsu scene, but all we got to see was the fucking sky. Oh, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And I genuinely think that that 100% has something to do with the negativity surrounding this episode, and more specifically Kagura's death. Purely for the fact that I've noticed now, after watching seasonal anime more so than the weekly releases like Boruto and like how Black Clover was, because they're weekly, they're obviously going to have lesser art and animation. And unfortunately, that does suck out some of the emotional weight behind scenes. Mainly because it's just not as immersive. Like, if I want to see Boruto crying about his friend's death, then it shouldn't be making me laugh. It really shouldn't. That is an example of the scene not being immersive. I should be watching Boruto's reaction welling up, not turning it into a fucking meme. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm sure I'm not the only one here. But with that said, it is nice to know that the anime is brave enough to kill off characters that they have established, because that makes all these anime-only arcs a little bit more intriguing, knowing that you don't always know what is going to happen just because you've read the manga. A character could die at any moment, as we've seen with Onoki and now Kagura. Fingers crossed though that next time it's good. However, saying that, I am still going to catch up to the anime and I'll make my own mind up on whether or not it was really bad. But like I said, it's not gone down well in the community from what I can see. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're not already. I'll see you guys another time. Bye bye.